Hello, hello, hello. It is your boys, the DM podcast. And of course, game two already finished. We're doing this a night after to kind of get our thoughts all in line. It's your boy Mike, and of course, the man, the myth, YS. How's everything going?
You already know every day above ground is a good one.
Of course. You know, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Our Luca, that picture of Luca and Gobert get a lot of views on that. That last video we didn't get as much. So make sure you guys are watching, hitting the like button, and just let's just keep this buzz flowing. Let's just keep this buzz flowing, especially as this is the last series until now we get draft talk and off season talk, and then we go next year. We got to start talking about next year eventually, but this is the last few games that we have of the NBA season. So we have to enjoy what we have to enjoy. Speaking of that, game two happened. The Boston Celtics versus the Dallas Mavericks. More than likely, this podcast is going to be, is the series over? So that's the question I pose to you. YS, is the series over?
Look at my face. Series ain't over till it's a team has 4 wins, right?
Right?
So everyone is counting the Dallas Mavericks out, but a lot of these guys a week ago were like Mavs in 6.
That's me.
So
I'm one of those people.
yeah, so I didn't want to say names, but right, but the series is not over. I'm predicting now that it could be a home series. I don't think Dallas is going to get swept
Me
or win
neither.
a game. I don't
I,
think they
yeah,
shouldn't, but
I don't think so.
I feel like they should win at home, right? They should grab these next two at home, right? The next game is Wednesday. And after Wednesday, I believe it's probably most likely Friday or maybe latest
No,
Saturday.
I think it goes what or Monday. Yeah, so Wednesday, I think it goes all the way to Sunday.
Sunday again,
Like there's a space, like there's a deep space into
because
games.
they're already in Dallas. So it's like, why is there a deep? I know the deep space is to travel to Dallas, right?
There's like a big space.
But
Let me
anyways, I don't
confirm.
think Dallas ain't done.
Oh
Like,
no, you're right. Yeah, because it goes Friday to Monday.
okay, so it's Friday's the next.
Yeah, so it goes Wednesday, you're right. Wednesday, Friday, then Monday. Because I'm like,
Oh,
there's a big space. Then it goes Monday to Thursday, Thursday to Sunday. That would be game seven if it is.
okay. So we're hoping and yeah, again, okay. So like you gotta credit Boston is they have a better roster, right? They have better guys individually. Like Lively works well on the team, Gafford well on the team, PJ on the team, right? Those guys, they work well on the team, right?
Right.
Bertrand's whatever work well on the team, right? But individually, Boston has guys, and as a team, they put in work, right?
They're
So
they're they're better. Like the team wise, like I picked Dallas in seven. And I can still believe in that, but it's always that one itch you have when you're watching and you realize Boston has legit been the best team all season.
they having people kind of really like is Boston gonna play to their competition, but these guys so far came out on a mission. Like I'm seeing Tatum looking to pass, right? And I'm not really used to that Tatum, like really looking to pass, like really playing like a Halliburton role. Like I'm
Yeah.
looking for my shot. And in scoring, if you bet, guys, yeah, anyone watching, if you bet, everyone under. The superstars went under but Luka. Like, what is Kyrie doing? Listen,
Yeah, we'll get to Kyrie. We'll definitely Kyrie. So you would say if you had to put a percentage on it, that the chances of Boston sweeping are what, 20%,
sweet.
30%, higher percentage, or just really like 10%, Dallas is not getting swept.
I feel like the percentage of them getting swept, Dallas is, I want to say 15%. It's not high.
15?
15, yeah. 15% of these guys could get swept. I don't really believe it. Like the other 85 of me is like they're not getting swept. But at 15, I'm gonna say that 10. That 10% of me is like, nah. No, you have Luka, you have Kyrie, they can at least go out for 35 each one game, man.
Yeah.
At
Dallas is going to
least.
be popping. There's no way you're going to be up at home and the crowd is not going to like will you throughout the whole game.
There's gonna be a game where Dallas is hitting shots, right? They should win that game, obviously. So
which leads like we can just go straight to you know, well, what have you seen that is the reason why Boston's winning? You talked about Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has not been shooting well, like at all. Has not been shooting well.
It's hard
Um,
then.
he probably won't win Finals MVP. As you can read in my name for the day for this podcast is darkest Boston player winning MVP. So one of the two dark skinned mans is gonna win MVP. That's the way it's looking.
It's they're gonna give it to Brown if Boston ends up winning, which we're gonna say if they end up winning the ring. They're gonna give it to Brown, right? Unless Tatum goes off the next.
He has to go off. He has to go off. The thing he has to go off
Yeah,
to win it. And the thing is that made me think of Jason Tatum. And you know what? Like we always go on a side tangent. That's what makes doing a podcast so good. If Jason Tatum, if he doesn't win MVP, will people start placing him lower in like the top 10 or
yeah.
start going top 15 for Jason Tatum? Like, how are people going to see him?
They're gonna go 15. You know what I mean? But the thing is, other than Jason Tatum's shooting percentage, he's damn near averaging a triple double,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
10 boards, 8.6 assists. He wasn't doing this in regular season. So I know shooting percentage for the three is like 26%. Drew Holiday's at 44. Like everyone's shooting better than Tatum from behind the arc, right? But if that percentage goes up and those numbers stay the same and he goes off in a game, they're probably gonna give it to him, to be honest. Right?
And the thing is, like you said, Tatum's darn near averaging a triple double.
Yeah,
So, and it's Jason Tatum that's averaging a triple double, not like you're not saying Derek White or Holiday. It's Jason Tatum. Yes, he's a pretty good rebounder. I think he's always been a really good rebounder. The
yeah,
assists have climbed greatly because he's just finding the open guy, and
yeah.
teams are trying to double him and put more body on him. So you can tell he's trying to make the right reads, and it's working out for you. Derek White and Drew Holiday, it looks like when those and like even Al Horford, when they're in the corner, it looks like they don't miss.
It's so scary when these guys get the ball in the corner and there's no one really around them. It's just scary. Even Pritchard,
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, Boston, I think me and you always said it. Boston's not the deepest team. It really isn't.
they're not. But the guys they have, they play. They can ball.
And like
See,
their starting five is just, or actually their six guys are so good.
yeah.
Like just generally so good. Which
I
like,
want to put Pritchard into that seventh because I like
yeah,
Pritchard. He just reminds me of a guy that's in the military, like just disciplined, gets to work, doesn't complain, hard
yeah.
nosed, does what it takes. That's Pritchard.
You're right. He's hard nosed. And I think you need a guy who's gonna like make the game a little dirty. If you leave him open, he could hit a clutch shot. He's gonna play tough defense. He's
Yes.
gonna be there for you. And then we have a Sam Hauser who, if you leave him open, he's hitting the shot.
Even if he's in a slump, you still don't want to leave him up because the coach will be like, "Come on, guys, come on."
Right. So you have to respect them. And then you have multiple guys who can handle the ball. Like you have four guys who can generally say, like, oh, we'll just take over
That can
handling
run the
the
point.
ball.
Yeah, that can run the point, and that's not what Dallas has.
Like Jason Tatum has played in some aspects, like when we're talking about more points wise, poorly. And look, they still up to nothing. Like you picked Boston, and I really wanted to pick Boston. No, I didn't want to pick Boston because I always say it. I love Jason Tatum. I think he's a really good player. I love Jaylen Brown. I think those guys are really solid players. I love Drew Holiday. I like Derek White. Al Horford is a nice center to have. Porzingis, I really wanted him for the Raptors at one point, which I heard there's a trade that would have went down, but the Raptors didn't want to trade Gary Trent Jr. Whatever. I'll live with some of the decisions we make, I guess. But like I always wanted a Porzingis, a guy who
Yeah,
can shoot the three,
yeah,
play defense,
yeah.
stretch the floor. No, I would have loved that. But like you have all that talent, like so much talent you have, and I like all of them. I just don't like Boston. Like I don't the Boston Bruins. I don't like.
Yes, yeah, I hear
I
you.
don't like The Patriots, actually, I'm okay with the Patriots, but I don't like the Massachusetts teams. Okay, and I think it's probably from the Bruins. And like, if Bill Simmons was ever watching this podcast, it's Bill Simmons too. Bill Simmons is like, I listen to his podcast. I'm about to like, I listen to his podcast almost every time I'm driving. Sometimes before I go to bed, like the man's podcast is entertaining, but sometimes when you hear him talk, he's so Boston filled. They're just kind of like, yeah, I hope you guys don't win.
Boston is winning this, man.
The-
Start to burst y'all Boston fans, wherever y'all at. I'm starting to burst y'all bubble.
And the thing is with Boston,
I mean Dallas fans.
the thing with Boston, their story, even though if people really look at the history, that you can't compare the IT years and Kyrie Irving years. Yes, JT and Jason and Jalen Brown were there, but really the team was different. Like a Kemba year, like it wasn't really their team. I think for the past 2 years, it's really been their team.
Yeah, I would
You don't
say
see that.
maybe a little longer. Maybe a little longer.
I think once Kyrie left,
When
right?
Kyrie leave? It was been a while now. It's been 4 years at least now.
Kyrie left. Was on the team 2019,
I feel like it was
and
2020.
well,
He got
so 2020 because he wasn't there for the pandemic.
yes, or he was sitting out, then he came back.
And he was in the Brooklyn for pandemic time.
Brooklyn, yes.
Oh yeah,
Signal.
because
Okay.
Bubble he wasn't on the team. Right? I can remember that. So yeah, so like to me like this team, but yeah, now it's really theirs. They've been to the conference finals. They've been to the finals before. It's almost theirs to like they gotta win. They gotta win. This is the
Yeah,
chance.
like their road to the finals has been a lighter, a little easier road, right? But it doesn't take anything away. If they win the ring, they win the ring. Goes in the book, 24 Boston Celtics
True.
champions. So it doesn't say, oh, they beat easy team. No. They earned it. They've been putting in work, right? Tatum been balling. Brown. I usually hate on Brown. I can't hate on Brown. You know what I mean? He's trying to go left. He's finishing some layups left. You know what I mean? He's getting some blocks. I can't hate on Brown, but what is Kyrie up to? Where is Kyrie? He should be wearing a Waldo shirt. Where's Wald? Where's Kyrie? Where's Waldo?
Great movement to the next segment. Where is Kyrie? What has happened to him? Luca's darn near doing everything. Luca's doing everything. And Kyrie, I saw him hit a couple mid range, but then I see he's just not really hitting a lot of mid range. And of course, they have Derek White on him, you have Drew Holiday on him. Like there's actual size on Kyrie. And of course, Kyrie is one of the shiftiest players in the league. But this is where it sucks. Like to me, before I go to the NBA finals, please don't call me the best like uh guard who can handle. Like don't tell me I'm the best. Like LeBron saying this guy's this and that, and everyone's like, is he the best? Is he this? Is he that? Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear it. Because then if I don't perform, like I look extra poor. But where's Kyrie? Let me know. Like where's Kyrie?
Uh-uh. He was where was he? Minnesota?
He was there. He was there. He's probably still there.
That's where he's at still. He's in Minnesota. Maybe he's in Dallas. Maybe he make leave from Minnesota, go to Dallas. Maybe.
Right.
But we'll see because even when he wasn't scoring in certain games at certain points in Minnesota series, he was still being effective. And I'm not finding that in this series, him being effective without scoring. So I'm a bit disappointed. What about you?
I think, for the Minnesota series, he never really showed up for the first half, but that second half, he would go crazy. He'll go crazy. And I don't see him really going crazy now. And I almost expected him to be the one that would have been better than Luca because he's been to the finals. He knows the stage. And Luca doesn't really know the stage like Kyrie does.
No,
And I would have thought Kyrie in Boston, like he would want to shut them up.
right, right.
And we haven't seen that. So they need to do something with Kyrie. They need
Because
to
he
make some
usually take a little
adjustments.
bit more shot attempts, right? I didn't think he cracked 20, right?
I think he
Last
got
game.
20. I think you're right. They need to get him going. They
And
need to
shooters
get him
shoot.
kind of going.
Shooters shoot. And you're in Beantown, so it's like I was thinking he was coming with that energy too, right? That's what I was thinking. But
Yeah, he overall hasn't come, but no one has. Like I don't think anyone on the squad has been that great.
it's really been Luca, and you kind of want to hate in the sense, yo, Luca, you're holding the ball for 20 seconds, but he's the only one with decent percentages and
Right.
getting things done. So it's like you can't blame him. I don't blame him.
The one thing I think me and you have mentioned before, and old heads will mention this guy's name, but I think it's because they don't know any other player to mention. But I truly do think this guy's needed. I think Tim Hardaway Jr. is needed,
Needed to hit shots
right? And he's not playing any minutes.
because he's bricking. He's just,
Well, he hasn't
and
played
I want him
anything.
to. And I
Like
want him to play.
you got to give him an opportunity. I think it's like but it's weird because now you're down 2-0. You bring him, well, you bring him at home, and I think he'll hit. He's more likely to hit at home
He
than he
should. He
would
should.
away. But you need him. You need additional scoring. Boston plays a lot of defense, but they can also score the basket. So you need that.
I think they should bring Tim Hardaway Jr. in a little bit earlier than they would normally bring him in, games. So he can have that confidence, right? You just want to bring him like, okay, like, because I feel like when Kid brings him in, it's like he's on a short leash. And you see comes on, he jacks up a 1-2 shot, and they're bad bricks.
Yeah, I
They're
think
bad bricks, not even close. And then Kid is like, okay,
that's why he barely played in Minnesota, and he hasn't played at all now. And it's just like, no, kid, you got to give him some time. He's still like, I was listening to a pod, like he's still potentially. If you look at the squad, PJ Washington has been pretty good, but like
yeah,
he's what, not your fourth best scorer like overall. He's
overall on the
he's getting more
squad.
minutes than Jaden Hardy. Like why?
Hardy's getting more like Hardy. I heard you're a prodigy in high school and all
He
this stuff.
was.
But we're talking about right at this moment. I'm going Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, I'm going Hardaway. I just want to see I just want to see what he can do. So
But
like,
I feel, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no,
I feel Kid goes with Hardy because Hardy's able to get to the rim better than Hardaway Jr.
probably.
That's why I feel he goes, and he wants like guys to attack the basket, drive, kick. I feel like he kind of, right?
Yeah, Hardaway's more tunnel vision. He's gonna jack up a lot of shots. But I just think maybe right now you need it because Maxi Kleber, he has an injured shoulder, so he's not really he's coming back, right? He's not too sure if he has that ability to hit shots, and
Yeah.
Josh Green has been missing shots in
He
the
has been, and he's been big in the Minnesota series, man. He's been big.
he was, right? And then now it's like he's not there because some of the lights are too bright. And I don't think the lights would be too bright for Tim Hardaway Jr. at all. So I would play him more. I think PJ Washington is doing his thing. He sometimes gets a little tunnel vision too. But I think that's the whole team gets kind of tunnel vision. So they have to play. I think the best way to beat Boston is to play like a team. Hence why I think Indiana, they got swept. But Indiana was very competitive for most of the games
They were.
because Boston they couldn't just guard one guy.
Yes. You
You
see
have
it
to guard
right on
everyone.
the head. Every guy was capable of scoring and was willing to score. It wasn't like, okay, I'm the guy. Give me
Yep.
the ball. Let me ISO. It was like, okay, Siakam, if you have Nemhard, Naismith, right?
Okay.
If you have Turner,
Right.
Hallie, right? TJ,
Great.
right? There's, you know what I mean? I'm missing a couple other guys because they would go 5 up, 5 down.
Right.
And every guy could kill you in a way. So, but granted, Boston swept them, right? And they just have to, like, Boston has very good defense. It's just like their on ball, one-on-one defense, which in the playoffs matters the most because in zones and whatnot, like, it's more isolation ball in the playoffs. We know it,
Right.
slower game, right? So that man-to-man defense, that one-on-one defense,
Right.
you got DW, savage.
That
Did you see
block.
that block? That
Woo,
double block?
crazy.
GW and Brown, like this is what they have. I don't see that happening on Dallas with their guards.
Yeah, no.
Dallas guards are not doing that.
No way. All right. This team is solid, man. This team is good. The
If
team,
their bench were to get better in the off season and they were to win this year, to me it's a double running back.
because everyone is signed for next year. Like they have everyone signed. I heard that even Jason Tatum can sign an extension this year. Because Jalen Brown already signed his, so that means Jason Tatum would be this year. And of course, you're paying Jason Tatum. There's no doubt. You
Yeah.
already signed Holiday. You have
Yes,
Porzingis for another year. I think Derek White is eligible for like an extension. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure he's good for next season as
you
well.
should sign that if they. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I think
What
I'm
about
generally
Horford?
happy for them as a squad. Like I'm happy for the players. I don't give a flip about Boston. I don't care about
I
Boston
hear you. I hear
at
you.
all. But I care. I'm like if they win, I'm happy for them.
I'm
Super
happy for
happy,
you. Yeah, yeah.
right? Especially someone like Drew Holiday, a guy who like his defense has been good since the Indiana series, and he's arguably been their best player for both series.
She was.
He's he's competing on both ends of the court. He's like if he has another 20-point game and Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum aren't like hitting
Yeah,
offensively, this guy's the
yeah,
MVP.
yeah. I'm serious. Yeah, you're right. He has such a high motor.
He's
He's so
so
conditioned.
good, so good. And then you know who's watching this and is pissed off?
The Milwaukee Bucks.
Giannis like, you fucking idiots. You gave me Dame? You gave me Dame?
Oh man, the
And like
Bucks are.
Milwaukee fans were hating on Drew Holiday. Oh, Drew Holiday this and that. Bro, come on, man.
You
You'd
guys
be
are not
happy to have
watching
Drew
ball.
Holiday.
You guys are not watching ball because if Drew Holiday come to the Raptors, I'm getting a Drew Holiday jersey. Stop this.
Drew Holiday comes to the Raptors, like you know how much better they would be. His defense is like elite, man. Like having an elite point guard defender is crazy. When he can, yeah, he's not Kyrie offensively. He's not certain man's offensively, but he can still get a bucket. Like
It's. Do you want to win games or look fly? What do you
that's
want?
the question you need to ask yourself.
Right?
I don't care
Drew,
about like scoring. Like I don't care. Jason Tatum literally is like a really good scorer. We all know he is. The man said, "Okay, y'all gonna do this. I'll just average 16, 10, and 8.
it's crazy. It's crazy that he's an
I'm just
eight
pulling
point
up
something
numbers.
assist. Tatum. Tatum.
I'll just do that." Like that's come on, man. And then everyone else is just getting fed shots and everyone's doing their thing. Um, I don't know. Drew Holiday has been so good. Milwaukee should be pissed off. Any team that looked at him and said they didn't want him or the price is too high, it doesn't matter. Like they built such a super team in
Yeah.
the sense of talent.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. That's why they're a team that doesn't have the argument. They don't have the that number one Kobe, give me the ball, let me take over guy. But they have a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
never want to leave Holiday open. To me,
No.
Derek White is so clutch in the last like 3 minutes. I'm never leaving that guy open. Then you have a 7'4" guy who can shoot over anyone on the court.
From anywhere on the court. That's what's scary. And he's just smirking because he gets the ball in the elbow. He turns
Whew.
he turns around slowly, faces up, and just like this. Right? And
It's
who's
like he
guarding him?
realizes
The
how
only one
short the
is
person is. He's like, oh, the person's short? Easy. Jumper.
who's the closest guy to his height guarding him? Ivy?
Lively. Lively.
Um,
I think
I-
Lively like 7'1", 7'2".
which
But
is
like,
good, but once he's in foul trouble, then Gafford is, I want to say 6'10",
yeah, he's not that tall.
right?
Oh,
So, and you know what Boston does? They get the switches going, set that screen, get that switch, and then whoever's on Luca's on him, let's say, and then
and Boston looks focused, man. They want it. They want it.
I can't lie there. I didn't expect Boston to be this focused. Right. I thought it was gonna be really 1-1 right now.
Me too.
Not
Me
gonna
too.
lie.
I
Right. But
really thought that too.
because this game two, Dallas seemed like they had control and they were gonna, but Boston kept making timely shots, stopped that run, went on their own run, and
The thing with Boston, I've noticed like even in the regular season, once they're up like 10, they're good.
yeah, yeah.
And they just go on a random like 10-0 run. They're like, okay, we're gonna go on a 10-0 run, then we're just gonna chill.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's going random 10-0 runs. We're just going on a random 10-0 run, going on a random 12-0 run. All of a sudden they're up 10-12. It's honestly the team is good. Um, so what would you say Boston has to do to basically take game three?
Boston, honestly, to continue doing what you're doing, right? Take advantage of the mismatches. limit turnovers. Don't don't have any. Don't get in the bonus early. Let Dallas get in the bonus early while you guys fouling them. You know what I mean? And if Tatum were to actually scoring wise play decent,
Yeah.
it's these guys are gonna win by 10 points at least.
I think a key to them winning is don't play with your food. Don't play with your food. Go in like, oh no, we gotta take this.
But I think Drew Holiday adds that yo, I won one, right?
Yeah,
Let's DW was in the Spurs system. It's like, yo, Popovich, we could be up 20. You know what I mean? And if we're making a dumb turnover, I'm getting subbed out. So it's like
right.
you have those guys kind of holding, and they're older, holding the young guys accountable, right? So it's like, okay,
Yeah, they're just smart. Yeah, yeah, you have the right, you have the good vets. Like you have unselfish veterans. Like Derek White's not like Derek White is the fucking key to the team. He's always been. He's
yes,
like, oh, I'll still score 10 points. Al Horford is the one of the most like, oh, you guys do your thing. I'll just like get rebounds and play defense.
yeah, yeah,
Porzingis is coming off the bench, like, but he's only coming because he knows he's coming off injury. The team's good, but I'm hoping that can get a good game three. I'm hoping we get a good game three.
you
I'm
should.
hoping, like, I also agree with you. It's about like 15% that Dallas gets swept. Luca cannot get swept.
No.
But it's happened to a lot of greats. I think LeBron got swept his first year going to when it's the
In the
oh
finals?
yeah, '07 finals. I'm pretty sure he got swept by San Antonio.
Probably, yeah. San Antonio 07's.
Pretty sure '07 San Antonio would have. That was
These
the young
guys were getting
LeBron.
like 25 assists a game when Curry was in high school. So
'07. Let's look. Yeah, yeah, they got swept. They got swept. This is like, and the thing is, the scores were so close. They lost the first game by they lost the game four by one, lost game three by three.
so that's 4 points in total. The two
Yeah,
games they lost.
but the first two it was like 9 and 11. So,
Okay.
but
Well,
it looks like, and that's when LeBron was carrying
Varejao,
the team.
Anthony Parker, those guys. Elbaskis was just
Carrying the team. Boobie Gibson was the lead
Booby
scorer
Gibson.
game one.
What's his name? Don't tell me the man's name. What's his name? The guard, Mo Will.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I don't think
That
I don't think he's
was
in
his
this
option
version of the
too.
team. He wasn't in this version of the team.
Oh, he wasn't on this. I remember that was his option too, Mike, and he was carrying these guys. And Mo
It was
Will was his second
LeBron,
option.
Sasha Pavlovic, Luke Gooden, Larry Hughes, which
Oh
just
my
happens to
God.
be Jason Tatum's uncle or godfather.
Larry Hughes, this guy was supposed to be decent coming out of what I think came out of high school, I think
Um,
too.
and then Ozaskis.
Big Z, the big Z.
Then you had off the bench Verjao, Daniel Gibson, which Booby Gibson,
Booby.
Donald Marshall. Like that's crazy.
Donnie Marshall was a gun. Like he was actually like a stretch four early, really
He
taking it.
was, see, that's when the league wasn't that strong then. The league definitely wasn't that strong.
Talent wise, the league is better overall talent wise right now. We can't deny it.
Yeah, I think the league will always be better, but even though I do think, and this is, some could say it could be like my Michael Jordan versus LeBron argument. I think there was a portion in the 90s that the league wasn't as strong. Like I always think there will be a dull uh,
Yeah.
of it. I think that was a little dull of the league, especially Jordan's last three-peat. The league wasn't as strong yet because the Dirks, the Kobe's, the Paul Pierces, all those mans were
They came
just
in next year
coming.
actually. I think because they all came in '98.
They
Well,
all came
Kobe,
98. So like it's just like they didn't
you're right. You're right.
they were no one were ready yet.
But you really think? Remember, you had the Barkley. You had who else? You have Drexler,
All coming at the end of their
Olajuwon.
all and end of their careers.
It's true. Patrick Ewing, '97. Who was balling and who was real? Supersonics. What about
Like
Supersonics?
you still got Barkley was the person. Tim, not Tim. Why am I
The
thinking?
Admiral.
Who's
The Admiral
yeah? What's Robinson?
was
Why am I
Robinson, and he was killing.
David Robinson? Why am I saying Tim Robinson, the comedian?
Yeah, Dave, the Admiral. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he was doing this thing. So you had so much guys who were like still on something, but I think the league. I also think like
It wasn't
Kevin.
really as strong in the late '90s, and yeah, because Reggie Miller was reigning those. Yeah, Allen Houston was late '90s. Yeah, yeah.
I think like that time the O 04 to like 8. I think the league was also kind of softer.
Who
Because
was the '04 to '08? That was like Chris Paul was reigning those years, right?
because
Killing
even like Dwayne Wade, LeBron are all coming. But if you think about it, Dwayne
Bosh.
Wade wins a title in '06 with Shaq on his team, beating a Dirk uh, led team, and then like the
That
following
was a
year,
prime
well,
Dirk too.
and but it was like prime Dirk and all those mans. But it's like then there's LeBron, '07, and then '08 is that's when the big three happens of like, and that's when I think the league started getting more
Boston.
talented again because at least like Bosch is coming up, Wade is coming up, Melo's coming up, like Chris Paul's coming up, Dwight Howard's coming up, Darren Williams is coming up. Like the talent level was about to like shift. There's
Yeah,
always, I think, that portion of time where which technically we should be kind of in now, but I think when we look back at it and I'll say it, I think we were in it before that we just didn't pay attention to it because LeBron, um, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry are aging. So I think when
they
your stars are aging and the new stars are coming up, there has to be a gap, right? That there has to be a gap in time. But we just also have seen a guy win 3 times MVP. We've had Joel Embiid. We have Giannis who are kind of taking Luca who are taking over. So the gap has been shorter. But I
I
do
was
think
about to say, do you think there's a gap now?
there was one like where the talent level wasn't at the same spot that we've seen it at. Because everyone's still growing. Like Ant's growing, Shay's growing.
Yeah,
There's just like there's a but I think also that could have been a time where we've had a lot of um injury management, things like that. So maybe we just don't see enough guys. That's what people look now. Look, another team, Boston's gonna be the fifth team in a row to or the sixth team in a row out of nowhere. Like a lot of people are taking in that the G State win, the G State title, and the Bucks title because
yeah.
it was
Kind
weird.
of,
Like everyone's looking at it now, like, huh,
they kind of
what is the
slipped
big title?
through, right? Even the Lakers, the bubble. Yeah, it was kind of the last few titles don't, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't know. It's just,
It's just it has a different feel to it.
yeah,
With like now, like Boston winning is a no doubter. Like
yeah,
Denver winning last year, they're the best team.
yeah,
There's a no doubt, right?
yeah, yeah.
But the Warriors winning, I don't think people really had the Warriors winning a title,
Not at all. Because
right?
you even look at their roster and it was like, okay, Wiggins played good defense, and but it's like, okay, Clay wasn't prime Clay.
Right.
Curry, the only person that was Curry. Draymond was not amazing. Like
No.
who was amazing in that series was Poole was on the team, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Pool
And
was
Poole was,
nice.
I remember Poole being like, oh, he could have won Finals MVP if you know what I mean? Like Poole was doing his thing, but
Yeah.
it was Curry
It
and
was
Wiggins
all
played good
Curry.
defense.
It was definitely Curry. And then as I was saying, so it's like then the Bucks had a hard road, but the team that they faced were like the Phoenix Suns, who didn't they have Chris Paul, they have Devin Booker. They a lot of people would say they got lucky because Anthony Davis got hurt that first series. I think that was the
Yeah.
season they went to the finals. It's just different, in my opinion. But like,
You know, that Phoenix team was the best Phoenix up to this point. That was the best Phoenix team in obviously the era with Chris Paul and KD, whatever, right?
yeah,
That was their window. I felt that there.
I think we said it then too. I have a feeling we all said like I think we all agree they should have never traded for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's a really good player, but you just
Yeah,
gotta look at like building a team also
thank you.
starts from like
Thank you.
within, like
Yes, so
Mikal Bridges, see what he's doing? He could have been doing that as a second option. Cam Johnson could have been a third option, fourth option. Well, you still have a Chris Paul and you have a bench. You talk
thank
about
you. You
like
need a bench and role players. You have
right.
three players and just throw everyone in that can fit in the roster cap.
Yeah, you could have done more. You could have had DeAndre Ayton and given him more confidence to be like, hey, like you're not gonna be that guy, but I need you to be my 15 and 10 guy, but a
That's still
dominant
good
15 and
because you're
10.
still winning games, going to the playoffs, finals.
We're still playing
You have
defense.
Ebanks. You have Ebanks instead.
Right, right. Like so I think that's stuff that you could have worked on and you could have traded some guys around the margin if you could have, but you don't trade like your
These guys
team.
had role players,
Yeah.
had
You
shooters.
yeah, you never trade a bunch of players. But kind of speaking of what we were talking about, we already finished the Boston and Dallas series. Um I'll quickly mention the Lakers had a chance to get the UConn coach, but he recently denied it. Like this earlier on, he said, "No, I don't want it." They're gonna make him like a top five richest or the top six richest coach in NBA
What?
right now, but he decided to deny it. He wants to go back to UConn to win his third title in a row. That's what he wants. Also, I think me have discussed it like multiple times. Why am I gonna play and have LeBron be my player? Honestly, if I'm a coach, I don't want LeBron.
If I'm a coach, and here's the thing: if I'm been coaching college, I have not coached NBA, right?
Yeah,
And to coach NBA, it's like you guys are getting paid more than me. So I'm really gonna listen to you. I have to really show up to practice on time. Da, da. College is different. Like the NIL, yeah, it's still you're getting paid more than me. So there's still a level of respect they're gonna have for you, right?
right.
But you got guys that are leading the league in overall scoring all time, 3, 4 rings. This guy, this MVPs. It's
Yeah.
like there's an ego there. Even though we don't, there's gonna be an ego.
Right. There just is.
Um,
There just is. You're correct. You get to lead like college kids and they're just gonna listen to you.
yeah, like a lot of these college kids, aside from like 2 or 3 that know they're going to the league, right? The rest are just gonna be like eager puppies to do
That's
whatever
it.
you know what I mean, and to listen and fill the role, right? But realistically, like Larry Brown was the only coach that coached college that won a ring with Kansas in '88,
Yeah.
right? And then he won a ring with the Pistons in '04. And he was, I'm not even going to say close when he was with the Sixers because they only lost one game. The Lakers only lost one game in the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and no
It's
other coach
hard.
had transitioned from what happened with what's the guy?
Billy Donovan did, and he did
There we
okay.
go. The Monsters, the guy from the Monsters. Looks like the move from the Monsters, right?
Yeah, like he did okay, and he has done
He did
okay, but
okay.
he's was a way better college close coach. But like even what's his name? He was Rick Pitino. He
Mm.
uh he was a coach for like Louisville or whatever, or now he's a coach for Louisville. But when he was with the other team and he came, he didn't do anything for Boston.
Rick Pitino, that guy will do anything to get players.
A
Rick,
lot that's why like Williams from like UNC never left to go to NBA because NBA is different. You're coaching grown men who don't want to listen to you.
yeah, yeah.
It's just different. But what are we wanted to do? Yeah, so that's what the Lakers are gonna do, the coach. So now it's gonna be like Borrego or JJ Redick will join them. This
Tough.
Lakers search is funny, but I wouldn't want it personally. Unless it's like the only job, I guess you gotta take it. So we were gonna name the top five duos in the league right now. Now, the way I based it was just overall talent. If both players are healthy, if I was a GM, who would I want to build with my duos? And that's who I kind of chose. So, how did you choose yours? What was your thought process?
Well, my thought process was chemistry, right? Which guys have chemistry, which guys can play alongside each other, right? And defense too, right?
Mhm.
Defense, right, plays a key. You know what I mean? Also, we can't forget about scoring, right? Scoring is the main thing. So those 3 components, right? Put these two players on any team and they're gonna make a difference. Like these teams should be like okay, playoff teams. Like you put these two
Right.
guys on Charlotte, it's like okay, they're going to the playoffs next year. You know what I mean?
So I'll give my five. I'll give my five to one. So my fifth team is the Clippers. The reason why it's the Clippers is because I think a healthy Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are a, like an amazing wing tandem. They both play defense. I think Paul George, I've come to like really love his game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if I was the biggest Paul George fan. And no, I think I always thought his shot was one of the purest shots in the league. Just to his form, I should say, one of the purest forms. Like borderline, like Clay and Paul George have some of the purest shots. And then Kawhi Leonard is a cyborg. And every day I'm so thankful for 2019 because I don't know how this guy has not been healthy since, but clearly he was healthy with us. I'll thank God for that one. So I go Clippers, then I go Milwaukee Bucks, Dame and Giannis. And the reason why I put them fourth and not a little bit higher, because some days I think that Giannis is still the best player in the league, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. But Dame, I can only say it right now. The discourse on Dame will be coming soon. People will start looking at Dame with a side eye because they're gonna start asking themselves, is he just a flashy player?
Hmm.
Is he a winning player?
Is he a
Because if
winner?
Drew Holiday wins this title, that puts a lot of pressure on Dame Lillard to
It
do
does.
something. That was my four. My third was the Lakers with LeBron and AD. I
Okay.
still think those two are hella talented, and if you put those two guys with if you move them and put them on Dallas right now with the wings and they had a PJ Washington back, oh, I think that's a pretty good squad. Like because it'll be a more talented version of what they have now. And I always think like LA, the Lakers, LeBron's older, so you really needed Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell to do something, and they didn't do shit. So that was my three. And my number two is the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, constantly been one of the best wings. They're basically a better version of Kawhi and Paul George. That's what it comes down to. Both play good defense. Maybe not the Clippers level defense, but still very solid. And number one has to be Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. And that's just because Nicole's been one of the best players, if not the best player in the league. And Jamal Murray's a great number two. With when healthy, those two are killers. Jamal Murray's been a killer in the playoffs, so that's my top five.
Well, I'm glad our lists differ. You know what I mean? Because I didn't put the Clippers. I didn't put those two
I
because
understand.
Kawhi is never on the court and availability. I need a player that's available, but
I
the
understand.
bottom, you got the two young pups, man. You got De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis with the Kings. You had
That's a top five duo to you.
yes. You
And I
feel
love
as though
Sabonis. I ain't gonna. I love Sabonis. I think he's a guy that I would love to have on my squad.
these guys did not reach their ceiling yet. Understand that. Fox is getting better. Sabonis is getting better. He just reached a new level with his vision right now with his passing,
Yeah,
Sabonis, right? Fox is still reaching stride with his shot and his consistent three, right? Fourth is LBJ and AD. You already know.
yeah.
You know what they're gonna bring. You know what I mean? The the third, Joker and Murray, right?
Third,
They're the third. They're the third. To me, they're the third, right? They're the third right now. Why? Because they're not in the finals,
right?
right? So to have it fitting, because we're talking about right now, I have Luca and Kyrie
I see a lot of people put Luka and Kyrie. I
as the
see it.
number two.
I would easily put them on the list, and you're correct. I would remove a team easily and put them. I think that, yeah, it makes sense.
Well, no list is wrong. I'm just for the last two, the three were the politics because like they're right now, and it's Tatum and Brown, number
Right.
one. They're up 2-0. Tatum's averaging a triple double more or less. Brown is averaging like 2 blocks a game, right? So, hey, you got that's my duo still, right? what Tatum and Brown, they're what, 25?
Yeah.
Still got a good 7 years of prime basketball in the tank. 32 years, right? Is when you start to kind of, depending on your play style, kind of
Yeah, it's
decline a
been on
little
the
bit,
player.
right?
I
So
think that's changing though. But you're right. I think normally it was like 32 where you decline, but the way like Jimmy Butler's older, DeMar's older, these guys are not declining the way that you saw.
DeMar has not declined yet. You're right. Butler either. Even we can't even say LeBron. LeBron's just different.
I think that's why like the league hasn't seen the big drought that they saw in player talent they did before because these guys are lasting way longer.
I'm
Like
thinking
some of your
this
great players only lasted like 11 seasons at most.
literally. I'm thinking, I don't know what kind of substances they're taking. I'm not saying PEDs, but I don't know. You know, I don't know. It is professional sports, so we're gonna leave it at that.
They're definitely taking they're just more healthier. I think these guys don't do as much smoking
Yeah.
and doing that stuff. I think they train longer.
The
I think
technology is better too, right? A lot of technology for recovery is better too, so that plays an
I
effect.
think the training also like yeah, you're right. It's all better. All that stuff, the AI-ness of it all is better. They have private chefs.
Yeah,
The plane rides are private. Like all those things are more suited for them than it was back in the day. And guys, like if Larry Bird had this man would be in the league much longer.
yeah, yeah.
He
They
had
were
back
taking
problems from early.
at a time they're flying commercial, taking buses at a time and whatnot, and
It's a lot.
yeah, yeah.
It's a lot. But yeah, we were gonna chime in about Caitlin Clark, but that's all good. I feel like that news is dead and gone. That's more for the USA national team. There's not much else like to talk about. She didn't make the team. Only Christian Laettner was normally and then Anthony Davis as well. But like, remember they don't bring young people, especially for the women's team. They don't bring
Yeah,
young people.
yeah,
Angel Reese didn't make it either. It's fine. Caitlin Clark will make it for the future.
hundred
And,
percent,
and then you
hundred
always have to
percent.
ask yourself, like, who are you taking out? The guards in WNBA are really good. You're not taking out those guards. So, like, you figure out something else. And people are just mad because they wanted their white savior, Caitlin Clark, to be there. That's what it comes down to. You want a white savior to be there. Something I've always wanted to talk about, which I'm actually going to wait until the end of the season because I really like the topic of max contracts and who's actually worth a max contract because I do not think some of these players are worth a max contract. Or no, I should say there's only a few that are truly worth all the money that you would like to pay them. That's why you almost gotta take the L and pay everyone else. But that's really it for our pod. Is there anything you want to chime in before we end it all?
I just want to know who's winning Game 3. Not this series. We're talking about who's winning Game 3.
I think it has to be Dallas at home.
Has to be Dallas at home.
But as I say it, if you ask me if I put money on it,
If you
I
put
do
money
think
on who's
Boston's
winning
winning.
Game 3,
I think Boston's winning the next one, but I think Dallas will win the fourth one.
ooh, you think they'll go 3-0?
Yeah, I think they go 3-0, man.
I think
Honestly,
Dallas is winning the next game.
I
I
hope
think
so.
Dallas is winning Wednesday.
I still want a series. Like even if Boston wins, I want a series.
No,
Give
I
me
do. I
give
want
me
a
six
series too.
games.
Minimum six. Minimum
Yeah.
six. But I feel like Dallas is going to reel off two straight, and everyone's going to get back on that wagon again. I feel like
Oh,
they
I
can
will.
reel off
I
two straight.
definitely will. For sure. So the next game is a Wednesday, Friday. That means we'll do a pod on Sunday. That means the potential being a 2-2 series. Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm definitely gonna do it. I'm gonna be crazy. I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going crazy. Even like 30 seconds of hockey, the freaking Oilers lost. Now they're down 2-0. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going
Shoot.
on.
We need to
I
bring back Cup
really
back to Canada. We need to bring Cup back to Canada.
yeah, man, I can't. This is
Real
too
tough.
long, but it is what it is. But that's it for the DM podcast for the week. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Well, I didn't even ask. Who do you think is gonna win?
Oh, Dallas is winning two straight.
Hopefully, hopefully that's wins.
But Game
Hopefully,
3, if I'm betting, I'm putting my bet on Dallas Game 3.
I would hope so. I hope you're right. But like, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys comment on who you guys think is gonna win Game 3 and Game 4, and we will talk to you guys again after Game 4. Peace.